Hello, everyone. It is the 20th of December, last class before the holidays. And I just told the students we're going to do a nice reflective practice before the holidays, which is quite good to do. It's not necessarily going to be harder or easier than a normal class, but it will be a little bit, will help us to slow down, to breathe, and get into some reflection. Okay? So the first thing I'd like to do, of course, is the work for the neck. Open your shoulders wide. You could sit on a chair or even stand if you wish. We'll be working on the floor right afterwards. So if you're on the floor, you can stay on the floor. Take a deep breath in and lift your chin, looking skyward. And then breathe out and lower your chin. Look down towards the floor. Breathing in and lift the chin. This is the nodding to do just at the beginning of class. It helps us with our balance. And it helps us just to get into the mood for slow movement with breath. And bring your chin back down to your chest. Come back to a neutral position with the head, and let's turn the head to the right, back to center, and then to the left. As you do this, see if you can do it without moving the shoulders, and see if you can do it slowing down. Really slow down the movement and notice how you're feeling as you move your head from side to side. Then begin rolling the head from one shoulder to the other, and you're going to do half circles forward, please. Half circles forward. I would avoid doing any full circles. Half circles are safer than the full circles. One more time. And then bring your chin back down to center and lift it slowly as if you're stacking one vertebra at a time on the neck. That's it. Good. All right. We're going to take our two middle fingers and the thumb, bring your right arm in front of the body, and you'll close off your left nostril. Good. Nadi Shodhana. Take a deep breath in through the right nostril. Close off the right nostril with the thumb and breathe out through the left. That's right. Breathe in through the left. Close off and breathe out through the right. Perfect. Keep going. And if you'd like, close your eyes and see if you can make the inhale and the exhale when you switch the nostrils exactly the same length. Breathe in, close off, breathing out. So we're equalizing the inhale and the exhale. Good. Good. One more full round. And the next time you exhale with your left nostril, you'll bring the hand down. Stay motionless just for a moment. Notice how you're feeling in the head, in the body. Good. Let's roll over our ankles and come on to all fours onto your mat. Perfect. The hands will be underneath the shoulders. The knees will be underneath the hips. We'll take a deep breath in and curl the spine, looking skyward. And then breathe out and round, look to your belly button. And again, let's breathe in, looking skyward. Breathing out, look to the belly button. One more time, let's breathe in, look skyward. And breathe out, looking to the belly button. Coming back to a flat back. Let's bring the knees in so that both of them touch each other. And raise your right leg behind you. The knee is bent, the foot, you can relax it. And we'll draw a big circle, bringing the right knee forward towards the shoulder and then down and around. And again, forward towards the shoulder and down. One more time. And then change directions. Bring the knee down to the floor, towards the elbow, shoulder, and back around behind you. 3 times. Then bring the knee down, and let's change sides. So your knees are together, and then you raise the left leg. Keep the foot relaxed. And let's bring it forward towards the left shoulder and down towards the floor. Circling the leg, warming up the hip, as well as the low back. Once you've done 3, bring the leg up behind you and then change directions. Go down towards the floor again, elbow, shoulder, and around 3 times. Then bringing the knee back to the floor, open your knees and sink back gently into a child's pose. Reach your arms out in front of you, forehead comes down to the floor. If it doesn't touch the floor, it's okay. You can just let the head hover. But feel an opening at the low back. Feel also your hips nice and stretched. Your legs should be feeling good. The knees, if you don't want to sink all the way back, you don't have to sink all the way back. Coming up onto the hands and knees, keep the hands as they are. Bring the knees in about hip width, and let's gently curve the spine till you feel a stretch down the front of the belly. The hips lift, and there's strength here. It's not a just curving of the low back. There's strength in the curve. You're purposefully tilting the hips skyward, lifting the chin. Feel like your chest is pulling away from the belly, and you get a long, strong belly here. And let's bounce back and forth, back and forth. From here, keep your hips back, and let's lift the right knee. Place the right foot down. Reach the right arm far out in front of you, fingertips on the floor, and see if you can do a couple little bounces here, backwards again. Just gentle bouncing back, feeling it in the right hip as well as the right thigh. Bring the hand back down, bring the knee back down, and let's do the other side. Lift your left knee up, the foot is on the floor. The left arm reaches out, fingertips down, and we bounce back and forth. Just a gentle bouncing. And you should really feel it because there's an external rotation of the thigh going on as you bounce back. It works in through the hip as well as the side of the body. Then bring the hand back down, bring the knee back down. You're keeping some curve in your back, keeping length through the belly. Tuck your toes, and here we're going to lift the knees by keeping the curve in the back, and it's like your hips float up to the sky to crouching cat. Then we come back down. We're going to do this slowly, another 5 times. You'll lift, breathing out, and you'll lower down, breathing in. As you move through space, keep curve in the spine. Lift, breathing out. Lower, breathing in. Strong arms. Hands are nicely placed on the floor. Lift and lower. We're going to do it 2 more times. Keep the hips up and back. Lifting, lowering, and here's the last one. Getting strong, lifting, and we stay. Stay here. Tilt the hips up well. Lift your chin, looking forward between the hands. Holding here. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. This should be quite strong on the shoulders, quite strong through the belly and the legs. One more deep breath in. Step your feet wide as your mat, and begin stepping your hands gently backwards. When there's no more weight on the hands, set the fingertips on the floor, push your hips back, and pull your heart forward. Pull the throat forward. Look to the front edge of your mat. Keep a deep, deep squat, and we're going to sink lower. Sink the hips back. 5, 4, it's little bounces. 3, arms are straight. 2, here's the last one, stay down low. Lifting up, pulling the belly long, set your hands onto your thighs. Shoulders are wide, lift the chin. Feel that the hips curl back continuously. And then raise your arms in front of you. And here we're going to do little squats. When you squat down, let the arms go up. 5, that's it. 4. So it's like you're lifting your chest as you sink down. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up to standing. Step your feet in. Bring your hands into a soft prayer position in front of the heart. Clasp the hands together, push the palms skyward, and lean to your right. And stay here. Have your legs strong. Have your arms long, and the side body very, very long. Good. Rise back up to standing. And let's do the other side. Lean to your left and hold. Legs strong, body long. Set your gaze at one point. Coming back up. Bring your hands at your low back. Your feet are hip width and the fingers turn in. Let's lean back over the hands. So your hands come forward and your chest goes backwards behind the hands. If it's comfortable, let your head go back as well. If not, continue to look forward. And we hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Look forward, release the arms, and take some big steps forward until you reach the front edge of your mat. Bringing your hands to your heart center. Knees are soft. Hips continue to be a little bit behind you. This is healthier for the low back as well as for the hip sockets. Knees are soft. Hands now to the heart center. Take a deep breath in and let's stretch skyward. As you fold, elbows come to knees, we go right down, and then your hands come to the floor. Stepping your feet back to a plank position, lift your head, looking forward. Lower your knees down. Let's simply lower our chest down slowly to the floor. Point your toes and lengthen your legs out behind you, pressing the tops of the feet down. Rise to a tiny little cobra. Bring your chest back down. Push up onto the hands and knees first. Then we tuck our toes and we take either down dog or crouching cat, whichever is best for you. Set your gaze onto your mat and take 3 deep breaths here. Looking at your hands, begin stepping with the right foot first, then the left. Then scoot your feet forward, bend your knees, hands to your thighs, push against your thighs to lift the chest into a chair position. Raise your arms by your ears and come all the way up to standing. Nice and slow. Hands to your heart center again. Feel like you're moving through water. Deep breath in, let's rise. Folding, bending at the knees, elbows come to knees, bring the hands down. Step back to a plank position this time. Lift your head, lower your knees, and lower the chest slowly to the floor. Pointing your toes, lengthen the legs, press the tops of the feet down. Cobra. Bring your chest back down. Push up onto the hands and knees. Tucking the toes, down dog or crouching cat. Hold it here, set your gaze at one point. 3 deep breaths. Now the left foot steps forward and then the right, stepping all the way. Bend your knees, hands to your thighs, lift your chest, raise the arms by the ears, and come all the way up to standing. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit faster and we'll add on. Hands to the heart center. Keep going smoothly, rise up, flowing through the water. Elbows come to knees and then the hands to the floor. Step back to a plank position. Lower your knees down, lower yourself to the earth. Point your toes, rising to a cobra. Pushing back to down dog or crouching cat. Now, instead of holding, step your right foot forward, then your left. Move smoothly, bend your knees, rise to a chair, arms stretching by the ears, all the way up to standing. Hands to your heart center, flow, deep breath in. Elbows to knees, go right down. Stepping back to the plank. Lower your knees, lower your chest down. Point your toes, rising to cobra. Push back, down dog or crouching cat. Left foot steps forward, then the right. Knees bend, hands to thighs, come up to chair. All the way up to standing. Hands to your heart center, let's go again. Deep breath in. Folding, elbows to knees. Good, stepping back to a plank position, that's beautiful. Moving down, now you can lower the knees or lower straight down without the knees on the floor. Yes, point your toes, rise up to cobra. Down dog or crouching cat, you guys look great, everyone looks terrific. Right leg steps forward first, then the left. Beautiful. Bend your knees, coming up to chair. Arms by your ears, all the way up to standing. Arms stretched by your sides. Hands to the heart center, and again, deep breath in, let's rise. Breathing out, fold, beautiful. Stepping back to the plank, flow through, everyone. Lower your knees, lowering down, yes. Point your toes up into cobra. Down dog or crouching cat, yes. Then the left leg steps forward first, then the right, all the way front edge. Come into chair and stay in your chair, please. Stay in your chair. From chair, open your arms and bring your arms by your hips. So your hands and arms by your sides. Raise your right leg. Keep the hips moving back. Set your gaze at one point. Taking a deep breath in. Send the right leg behind you. Arms stay stretched behind you. Now you don't have to straighten the legs. Keep the standing knee especially bent. Pull your heart away from your hips. Stretch your arms as straight as possible. Holding 3. If you can raise the leg higher behind you, that's great. 2, 1. Bend both knees. Come back into the chair, arms stretched by your ears. Sinking back nicely. Then bring your arms once again down by your hips. Hands behind you. Raise your left knee. Set your gaze at one point. Hold it. Lift the chest away from the hips. Get super long in the belly. Now let's send the left leg behind us into an airplane-like pose. The standing leg stays bent. Lift the left leg up as much as you can. Holding 3, keep breathing. 2, 1. Bring the foot back down, back into the chair. Holding here, open your arms to the sides. So you're in the chair, hips back, arms wide. Lift the chest higher. Lift the eyes. Lift the chin. Sink down lower. 3, 2, 1. Hands to your hips. Step your right foot back. Now it's not a very big step, just a gentle step back. It should go about halfway back to the center of your mat. Okay. Turn your right foot in so that the heel comes down. This is called the tribal lunge, completely different than our typical long lunge, much healthier for the hips and the low back. You'll bend your knees, your hips go back, your chest lifts and your belly is long. Set your left elbow onto your left thigh. Turn your chest so it looks towards the right. Okay. From here, bring your hand just above your right hand, above your right ear, and pull the ribs away from the hip, from the right hip. So your whole right hand side gets super long. And if you wish, open up even more, pointing the elbow to the sky, turn your head, and you're kind of holding your head in place. The head pushes into the hand to work the neck. Keep breathing. Focus on one point. Release. Turn your head to look down. Bring your right hand to your right hip. Now, gently straighten your front leg. This is your left leg. And slide your right hand down towards the ankle. Grabbing the ankle, hold it here. Pull the chest away from the hips. You should feel a deep stretch down the back of the leg. This time, we're going to turn our shoulders, turn your head, and if it's comfortable, raise the right arm to the sky, reaching, holding. This is our triangle pose, and it's an adjusted triangle pose. Hips still move back. There's curve in the back. There's length through the ribs. 3, focus your eyes on one point. 2, 1. Bring the hand back down to the hip. Bend both knees. Lift your chest back up for the tribal pose. And then lift your back heel, your right heel. Turn everything forward so that you're in a little lunge position. Both feet point forward to the front edge of your mat. Hands to your hips for the moment. Sink back as if you want to sit down on your right heel. It's going to lean your chest forward. It's like a split squat. Reach your arms out in front of you, clasp all the fingers, except the index and the thumb. And twist your upper body to the left. Very strong position for the legs. The core muscles are working big time here. Keep lifting the ribs away from the hips. Turn as far as possible. Sink your hips back towards the back heel. 3. That's great, everybody. Very good. 2. 1. Unwind. And step forward. Set your feet at hip width. Hands come to your heart center. Close your eyes and observe your breath. Have your tongue in home position. Have your mouth closed and breathe in and out through the nose only. Nice job, everyone. Hands come to your hips. Step your left foot back, halfway back behind you. So halfway at the mat, halfway mark. Okay, good. Turn the heel, the left heel in, and bend both knees. It's like an open squat, but the feet are facing different directions. Lift your chest, pull your chest away from your hips. So you get super long at the belly. The ribs lift, the shoulders open. Yes, it's a very, very strong and uplifting position, but your legs, your roots are pushing down into the earth. Bring your right elbow to your right thigh. So you lean forward, let the hips go back, belly long. Turn your chest so it turns to the left. Left hand above the left ear and twist open. Go as far as is possible. Maybe look to the sky. You should feel also a lot going on at the belly, at the diaphragm, at the lower ribs. Keep breathing, tongue in home position. 3, 2, 1. Unwind, looking down. Left hand comes to your left hip. Move with intention, very gently and slowly. Straighten your right leg. Slide your right hand down to the ankle. Now again, turn your shoulders to your left. You should feel a strong stretch down the back of the right leg. Turn and open. Stretch your left arm to the sky if it's comfortable. If not, hand goes to the hip. Looking skyward, set your gaze. Keep your legs strong. Keep pulling your chest away from the hips. 3, 2, 1. Good job, everyone. Bring the left hand back to the hip. Look down and lift the chest up with the knees bent. Hands at your hips now, and you'll turn the left foot forward. So both feet facing forward. The intention is forward. Let your hips now go back like you're going to sit on the left heel. Reach your arms out in front, clasping all the fingers except index and thumb. Keep the chest lifted away from the hips and twist to your right. Hips going back. Get those core muscles functioning, working, firing. Look over your right shoulder, sink back towards that back heel. 3, 2, 1. Unwinding. Step it forward. Hands at your heart center. And this time, notice the sensation in your hands. Just observe the sensation, right hand, left hand against each other. The softness and the heat. These pauses help us get into the right brain, the right hemisphere of the brain, which is our creative side. Opening your eyes, take a deep breath in, raise your arms, stretch skyward. Folding, elbows come to knees, go right down, hands to the floor, and step back to a plank position. Lift your head, open your shoulders, arms are strong, pull the chest away from the hips. Now feel like you're pulling your hands towards your feet, so you drag the hands backward isometrically. And we hold here 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push your hips up and take either down dog or crouching cat. Good. Turn your knees to your left. Sink your hips back as far as possible and raise the palm of your left hand, fingertips on the floor. Let your head drop towards your right shoulder, stretching completely and deeply the whole left hand side. Hips back, deep breaths. 3, 2, 1. Now bring the left hand back down. Keep the knees deeply bent, and we're going to bring the right hip down to the floor. Right knee comes down, left knee points up to the sky. Now this is a deep twist through the belly. Bring both hands to the front of the mat, so your shoulders twist forward. The left foot is down, the left knee is up. Lift your chest. If you need to, you can come up onto your fingertips of your left hand. But a deep, deep twist here. Looking forward. Staying 3, 2, 1. Unwind a little bit and stretch your right arm onto the floor. Stretch both legs straight. Now keep your right arm underneath your head. Left hand can come to the floor in front of you. Point both toes. Lengthen out your belly and raise both legs. This position is called Vishnu Asana. It's excellent, excellent for the oblique muscles, and it's also working the deeper core muscles. So see if you can get your belly long and everything pulling inwards and upwards. If you would like to go farther, lift your head and shoulders up by just pressing down into the right arm. And you can bring your left arm onto the thighs, onto the outside of the thighs. We hold, lengthen the belly, but pull it tight. 3, good. That's it. 2, 1. Lower the legs, lower the chest down, and we want to roll onto the tummy. Stretch your arms out in front of you in a V position. Lift the arms, head, chest, and the legs. So you're balancing on your tummy. Squeeze your glutes tight. Get the whole back body working. Focus your gaze at one point and stay calm. Coming back down, hands under the shoulders, push up onto the hands and knees. Good. Walk your knees forward a little bit, tuck the toes under, and come into down dog or crouching cat. So a lot of these postures, when we hold, they can be difficult, and they're a metaphor for life. When life gets hard, can you stay calm and focused? When things go a little bit crazy around you, can we stay calm and focus and breathe? Other side, turn your knees now to the right. Bend your knees low. Raise the palm of your right hand, fingertips on the floor. Let your head go towards your left shoulder and stretch out the whole right hand side. Hips go back, knees bent. We hold and breathe. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the right hand down, bend your knees nice and deep, and see if you can get your left hip to the floor. Keep the right knee bent, right knee points up to the sky. Both hands come down to the front edge of your mat, and you get into a deep, deep twist. Lift and open the chest. Holding here. Looking forward. You can get your ribs to turn forward. The chest turns forward, keeping the hips as they are. And to release, we slide the left arm down onto the floor. The head comes down. Gently straighten both legs, pointing the toes. Get your whole body in one line. If it hurts on the bone, this is the trochanter. If it hurts on your trochanter, roll back a little bit behind the trochanter. Lift your legs as high as possible. Feel the whole side of the body contracting to lift the legs. If this is easy, you want to go farther, push up onto the elbow, keeping your right hand either in front of you or bring the right arm on the legs. And hold here. Lower yourself gently to the earth and roll again onto your tummy. Hands underneath the forehead and just relax and let go. You can move your hips from side to side if you wish. Good job. This time, bring your elbows bent to the sides, bend your knees, heels touch each other. Parachute position. Lift your head, chest, shoulders, and the knees come up as high as possible. See if you can peel the thighs up off the floor. Big contraction in the back. Hold and stay calm and focused. Good. Come on back down. Hands under the shoulders. Push up onto the hands and knees. From here, walk your knees forward. Bring your feet to one side. Come to a seated position, and let's get onto our backs. Grabbing behind the thighs, roll down onto your back. Walking your feet away from you, knees slightly bent, heels pushing down into the earth. Lift your hips up. And then feel like your hips are being lifted but squeezed tightly towards each other. Pull your heels towards your hips. Hold, set your gaze on the ceiling, and breathe deeply once again. And maybe you notice different things by staying still and focusing on one point. Bring the hips back down. Step your feet in. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Squeeze your glutes. Push against your feet, one foot against the other, and raise the hips up. Arms by your sides, and here we're going to pulse, lifting higher for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the hips back down. Lift your knees, bring your feet hip width. Now the next exercise, we work the inner thighs, but also the perineum. So we lift our hips up. The knees are apart for the moment. Squeeze your knees together and feel your inner thighs working, as well as lifting the perineum and the lower belly. Then bring the knees apart. We do that 10 times. 10, lift and release. 9, lift and release. 8, lift and release. Of course, you're lifting towards your chest. 7, 6, 5, 4, getting stronger. 3, you should feel it in the lower abdomen. 2, and 1. Good. Bring your hips back down. Set your elbows now into the floor. We'll take our classic half bridge. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Set your feet well and raise the hips up. Half bridge pose. Lengthen out the throat, have space, and relax the jaw. Relax your jaw here. Set your gaze at one point and just take deep, slow breaths, focusing on calming the mind, calming your body. Raise your arms now over your head, reach behind you, and lower the back one vertebra at a time, very, very slowly. Good. And once the back is placed all the way down on the floor, stretch one leg at a time onto the floor and relax here with your arms above you. Good. Let's rebend the knees. Bring your arms wide to the sides and allow your knees to fall to the right. See if you can stack your knees, one on top of the other. Turn your head to the left. Good. Just allow yourself to melt into the floor. Raising your left arm, let's roll to our right-hand side, right arm under the head, grab the left ankle and push the left knee behind you. Get that stretch into the quadricep. Bring the left knee towards the left shoulder and roll onto your back. Taking a happy baby pose, grab either behind your thighs or at your ankles or at the bottoms of the feet. Knees bend nicely. Hold it here. Stretch your right leg as much as possible. And then rebend. Then the left leg as much as possible. And rebend, and then let's see what happens if we stretch both legs at the same time, as much as possible. Knees are wide, legs are wide, and then rebend. Set your feet flat on the floor, open your arms wide, palms face the sky. Let your knees fall to your left, stacking right knee on top of the left. Turn your head to the right, and hold here. Raise your right arm and roll all the way to your left-hand side. Grab a hold of the right ankle and push the knee behind you. Left arm is underneath the head, and you can get that stretch of the quadricep. That's good. Perfect. Bring the right knee towards the right shoulder. Roll all the way onto your back. Once again, taking happy baby, either the hands behind the thighs, around the ankles, or under the feet. This time, simply rock from side to side, massaging the low back. See if you can get some release into the low back. Then crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, grab around the legs, pull them towards you. Now you could keep this, or you could thread the needle by placing one hand between the legs, and then stretch your left leg as straight as possible. The foot really flex so you get into the calf. Releasing this, uncross, And let's take happy baby once again, rocking from side to side. Notice the back, releasing the low back especially. Then the left ankle crossed over the right thigh, grab around, pulling the knees in, get that stretch in through the hip first. And then we'll stretch straight the right leg. Flex the foot as much as possible to get into the calf. And hold. And releasing the stretch, setting the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Pull your feet towards your belly and open your knees as wide as possible with your elbows. Feeling an inner thigh stretch. It's a little bit different from the stretch we had before with the legs straight. We're affecting different muscles here. Then we'll release, set your feet flat again, raise your arms once again over your head and lift your hips up. Here you're getting a little length and stretch through the belly. And then very gently lower the back one vertebra at a time. And when the back is on the ground, see if you can allow your low back to curve so you get even more stretch through your belly. Stretching the legs one at a time on the floor and separate the feet as wide as your mat. Now reach behind you. Get that curve in your back. Feel the belly lengthening. This is really good for your organs as well as for the muscles of the belly. And then bring your arms down by your sides, palms facing the sky. Make some minor adjustments to make sure your shoulders, your neck, and your head are comfortable. The arms are comfortable. Legs, hips, and low back. And if you need to cover yourself, if it's a bit chilly, grab your sweater and cover yourself, especially at the shoulders and the neck. And begin taking some deep, deep, slow breaths. And let's relax consciously the feet and the legs. Relax from your hips to your shoulders. From your shoulders down to the tips of your fingers, just relax. Relaxing the neck and the throat. The jaw. We tend to hold a lot of tension in the jaw. Take some time just to completely soften all those muscles. Soften all the muscles in the face, around the eyes and around the mouth and forehead especially. Allow everything to become smooth. Soften from head to toe. Allow everything to be relaxed. And let's take a minute to practice gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. Even if life tends to throw us all sorts of curveballs, there's always something to be grateful for. So let's start with our health and our bodies. Just how incredible they are, and how much we have to be grateful for. That we can move, that we can feel, that we can see, hear, smell, and taste. Let's be grateful for the people we love around us. And expand your sphere of gratefulness out to people who perhaps you work with, or you know, or friends, distant family. Let's be grateful for all of the experiences we've had this year, all of the things we've learned, the knowledge we have gained. And the opportunities, however, how small, that have come your way. When we are grateful, we are rich. Rich in life, rich in love, rich in experiences. During this holiday season, let's make it as rich as possible by being grateful. Begin to breathe more deeply in and out of the belly. And when you're ready, begin moving your fingers and your toes. Raise your arms up over your head and stretch from fingers to toes. That's good. And gently raise your knees to your chest and squeeze the knees against the chest. Yeah. Rock a bit from side to side to relax the back. Stretch your right arm to your right ear and roll all the way to your right hand side. And once there, press down into the floor to lift from the side and come to a seated position. Very nice, everyone. Let's rub our hands together and bring our hands over the face and gently tap around the eyes, shaking your hands out. You're just prepping the face and getting it stimulated for your afternoon. Let's once again rub the hands together. Bring that heat and energy over the face. Tap gently around your eyes and shake your hands out. Hands to your heart center. And I am so grateful that we can continue our yoga classes. It's been a great year for me, and I hope it's been as good a year for you. So thank you very much, everyone. Happy holidays and namaste. Well done. Nice practice.